I hate the first day of school.
First day of school is like so dumb. Like all those stupid commercials for it too are so dumb. Like if I could sue, I'd just sue them.
You don't want to see any of the stuff on the TV for it because it just reminds you you're going back. You don't need to see that. I don't want to see that.
I hate back to school. You just sit there and think about the next however many months. I don't even know how many months. And you're just like, get me out of this place.
Back to school is the worst. First of all, everyone hates people who are like, can't wait to go back to school. We just don't want to talk to you because you're going to be happy and like awake on the first day of school.
Back to school. 3 words teenagers do not want to hear. They don't even think back to school. They think back to stress, back to no sleeping, back to having to do all the stuff they don't want to do. It's just not fun.
The worst thing about going back to school is seeing people that you absolutely hate. Like the really annoying people that you're just like, I love summer because I don't get to see them.
I don't want to go back and see people and see all summer. They're going to be like, oh, I haven't seen you all summer. Yeah, that's because I didn't want to see you. If I would have wanted to see you, I would have seen you. I didn't. That's the truth.
You have to go and see these people. Most of them you probably haven't seen for a few months, so it's like, oh, look at you.
You just don't want to go. You don't want to go. You've had the entire summer off. You've obviously not done the work you were supposed to do. If you had to do any, you didn't do any of the reading. You're trying to cram that into the last week. Back to school doesn't work.
Another bad thing about going back to school is if you don't finish your summer reading books, you're screwed. Not really. You're still safe. It's okay.
This is my 12th time doing it, and I still don't know how to handle it. Who do I sit with? Where do I go?
How many more hours until lunch? When the heck is lunch? Where do I go for lunch? Who am I going to sit with at lunch? Oh my god, I'm hungry now.
And everyone tries to look good on the first day, but you're just too tired and you just don't want to do it.
The first day, you can either dress really nice and be like, yeah, I'm making a first good impression, or you can totally bum it and be like, yeah, I really don't care that I'm here. Girl code.
It's such a big deal and stuff, and I'm like, who cares? You buy a new pencil, you go back to the same old place, dirty halls.
You don't even need like a pencil or anything. Your teacher's got you. They give you paper. You don't even need a binder. And I've been buying one for Spanish every single year. Like, screw that. Enough of this back to school.
It's horrible. I hate it. I wish I could just go to the second day of school. Actually, I wish I could go to the last day of school.
Freshmen, can't deal with them, sorry. Just being an upperclassman now. I can't. Back to school! Back to school! No one wants to go! No one wants to go.
No one wants to go back to school.
This guy who's been talking to me the whole summer, who I've been flirting with and he's been flirting with me, but like, then I kind of stopped and I was like, I don't really want you, but he still wants me. And so today he's like, I need to talk to you. So I'm like, alright, cool, I'm coming over right now. So I got my friend in the back seat. I don't really care. He's like, oh, we have an audience. I was like, whatever. And then he's like, oh, you didn't give me enough time to prepare. I'm like, well, you asked me to come and talk to you, so I came and talked to you. And then all of a sudden he just puts his arms around me in this huge bear hug. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? This is kind of scary right now. I don't get what's happening. Good thing I have a friend in the back to watch this. And then I just leave. And long story short, I should have worn deodorant.
Avoiding people can be pretty rough. Because they just keep showing up.
Avoiding people is really hard, especially if you're in like a small school and like you have to sit next to them and you're like, awesome. Don't want to be here with you or talk to you.
Especially at school, like, you try to avoid everyone, but it's hard to when they're all walking in the same direction or opposite of you, and you have to look at each other.
You know, I don't like people. There's people out there you don't like and you don't want to talk to them, so you just try to do your best to avoid them.
I've tried a lot lately to avoid people less, but it's so hard because you really don't want to see people. It's like a phobia, honestly.
When avoiding people, avoid eye contact. Key point number 1.
If you're trying to avoid someone in public, avoid the eye contact as much as you can. If you have to, walk somewhere else.
Obviously, you're looking at them out of the corner of their eye, and then they're looking at you at the corner of their eye, and you're just like making awkward eye contact out of the corner of your eye, and it's just awkward. Or then you just completely avoid them. Like you're walking through a different aisle and stuff, and you just put your head down and you pretend you don't. You look at the shampoo. You don't even need to buy shampoo, but you just look at the shampoo anyways.
And for me, it's something I know I do is if I'm at a store and I'm looking at clothes, I don't like going near people. So if they're looking at something on a rack that I was going to look at, I just walk away and I go back later when they aren't there. You avoid them.
Key point number 2, when you fail at avoiding people like I do, just walk away. Really, really fast. If you see a person that you want to avoid, quickly turn around and just run. And just completely ignore them at all times.
Avoiding people in person, just speed up. Pretend you don't see them. No eye contact. And just jog. Briskly.
And there's like avoiding people because you're like mad at them and you're like, stop talking to me. And like you want them to know you're avoiding them.
If they're texting you don't want to, just don't reply. Simple as that. Don't reply. Doesn't matter.
If they keep texting you, stop replying. And if they still keep texting you, turn your read receipts off. And if your read receipts are still on, just don't open the text and they'll never know you got it. Girl code.
Try not to get into awkward situations with people who you have to be around because there's no avoiding them.
Girl code.
You see someone you know, you don't want to talk to them, avoid them at all costs. Try your best to. Avoid them.
Point 3, if that doesn't work and you end up talking to them, don't bring up the weather. Because everyone hates small talk.
I can't with text abbreviations. Literally cannot. Illy, TBH, BBG, Bay, RN, no. No. And one other one that gets me is stop. No, you stop. No, that is not needed. I cannot deal with those. If you're going to say that, spell it out. Doesn't take that much longer. It really doesn't. You can text it just as fast if you were just to do that. I can't.
Personally, I'm not very good at small talk. But then again, no one is.
Small talk is horrible. Hi, how are you? The weather's great.
Oh, especially with people who you don't really like, you're not really friends with. All I do is start to talk about the weather. It's so bad. I'm like, it's been happening a lot lately too, and I go, wow, the weather's really weird lately.
I hate it. I don't care how the weather is. I don't care how you are.
I'm like, it was like sunny, now it's cloudy. And the weather's really weird today.
Small talk. Does anyone even know what it is really? It's just that first conversation you have to break the ice. It could be with a stranger you don't know, or the first thing you say to someone. Like, you don't really want to talk to them, but you have to. It's the small little conversations you have.
Small talk is the worst. And some of the worst times for small talk is like at the hairdresser when they're like cutting your hair and they're like this and they're like, so what grade are you going into? And I'm like, you know, I look 12 and I'm going to be a junior. And then I'm like, oh my god, you look so young. Small talk is just horrible.
At the dentist is the worst. You have things in my mouth. You're fixing my teeth. You're cleaning my teeth. Don't try to talk to me. Okay, I can't answer you. What do you expect me to do? I can't answer. Don't try to have small talk with me at the dentist. It doesn't work.
If you can't think of anything to say during small talk, just be like, oh, I love your outfit. Even if you think it's really ugly, just say that because it always works. And then you just start a really good conversation on where they got the outfit, how much it was, great deals. It's a great conversation starter. When talking to a stranger, I would probably I'd give them a compliment first, you know? Like, hey, your hair looks nice. And then they'll probably give you back a compliment, which makes you feel good. An instant friendship, no small talk, no awkwardness. You're all set. Girl code.
And also small talk at work. If I'm like working and a customer comes in and they're like, so how's business? I'm like, I really don't know. The small talk is just killing me.
If you're with a parent, just let them do all the talking. You don't have to worry about going into a conversation with that person at all. Just be like, Mom, you got this. I'm not small talking. So when you're in the situation where you need to talk to someone about small topics, my favorite small topics are, who'd you stalk today? But that's only for your friends because that wouldn't work with strangers.
Small talk, it's just uncomfortable. You don't know what to say. Small talk isn't fun.
Or small talk with like someone you haven't seen in a while and they're just like so how you been? And you're like, good, how about you? And they're like, good.
Small talk with my mom is the absolute worst. Like, for example, this morning I wake up, so how was bowling last night? At 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Good. Like, don't ask me questions. I don't like to talk.
Mom, I don't want to have small talk with you. School was fine. Work was fine. Shut up, Mom. I have an entire album on my phone dedicated to comeback memes. Is that weird?
So, we're all stalkers. Let's get that straight right now. I don't care if you say you're not. If you have a Twitter, if you have a Facebook, you have stalked someone. Just admit it.
Alright, stalking. It's something everyone does, even without trying. You may say you don't stalk people, but you really do because you do it without trying.
Social medias are great for stalking people. You don't even have to talk to them and you know everything going on in their life.
Before stalking, you used to have to go out and actually see people and stalk them, and that's not good. Now, you can just stalk them without ever having to know them.
People that stalk other people, which is pretty much everyone, can do better work than the FBI. Because say, like, you have a crush on someone and you want to find out everything about them, just go on every single social media site that you can think of and you'll find out about their entire life. It's great.
I like to think that I'm a pretty good stalker. Like, I can find out a lot about a person just by looking at their Twitter or Instagram.
You know, an ex, it's great. Check up on them, see what they're doing. I wouldn't know.
You stalk them on Twitter, you look at their tweets, you're like, oh hey, that's a funny tweet, someone retweeted you, but I don't follow you, I'm gonna go stalk you. It just happens. Then you see someone else on theirs that they retweeted, you go stalk them. It's just an endless cycle of stalking.
One time, I went into driver's ed class and I looked over and I'm like, I've never met this person, but I have stalked them on Twitter and I just like knew all about them.
When I stalk people, like especially on social media, especially Twitter, I learn about their cousin, their mom, their sister, where they're going on vacation, and I learn about their friends from 12 different towns. Like, I know everything, and I am not ashamed to know everything.
Just don't accidentally like or retweet or favorite something that's like a really long time ago because you will look like a creeper. You are one. You just don't want to seem like you are one.
I think Instagram, when you stalk people, it's really easy to accidentally like their pictures. So I get really, really nervous when I stalk someone on Instagram. Because, you know, if you just accidentally double tap it, it's like, whoa, like, that, whoops, shouldn't have done that. And then they just think you're just a creep and they know you did it. And it's just horrible. And they know you were stalking them.
You can even check their family members' Facebook. They'll post photos that are really embarrassing of them, so then you can use that against them. It's really good. Just make sure no one finds those photos, because then you're screwed.
Second of all, the connect button, if you are on the Twitter, that is your new best friend. That button's there. Use it. Utilize it. You're a stalker. We all are.
If you do look through their favorites, you can definitely see guys who favorite girls' tweets. Like, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. See who they're trying to snuggle up with.
Girl code. People probably stalking you at the minute. You don't know. You stalk people they don't know. Stalking.
Also, if you, like, bring up something, and someone's like, how do you know that? And you're just like, oh my god, I only know that because I stalked them. That's just horrible. And you're like, well, I don't know. I just feel like I just knew that. I just heard that somewhere. I don't know how I knew that. What? Oh my god.
Just make sure when you're talking about something that you creeped upon earlier, that makes sense. You know, just don't bring it up because then you're actually a creep.
Girl code.